Guys, welcome back. This is Eric here with Guitarsenal, and just noodling around a little bit. Okay, having a little fun on a little bit of blues. All right. And today we're going to be going through a Fender amplifier. This is a Fender Blues Junior, and this is the third model. Okay, third iteration. Third time's a charm. Okay, third time's a charm. But this is a great little amplifier. This one has had some pretty interesting Bill M mods done to it. If you're not familiar with Bill M, definitely look him up. Unfortunately, he has passed away. But as I understand, the company is still running and you can still get his modifications and parts through his website. But these Bill M mods are really, really functional mods to the original Fender Blues Junior. This is a later model. This is a limited edition model in the two-tone Tolex black and silver, which is really cool. This is one of Chad's guitar amplifiers. This one utilizes a Bill M modified standby switch. It has a center position that you can put the switch to have a usable standby, so you can still power the amp up, heat it up, without actually engaging the tubes until you're ready to put the amp into play. So it's got that feature built into it. Also, a lot of these Fender amplifiers, whether it's the Pro Junior or the Blues Junior, they both have a real bad issue with the tubes being biased a little bit too hot, and they wear the tubes out pretty quick if you're not careful. So he also has had a Bill M mod installed on this amp that kind of cools down the tubes a little bit, gets the bias down to about where it really needs to be for good tube longevity, but without sacrificing any tone. You get really good bass response, really nice crisp mids and highs, and it doesn't harm the tone of the amp at all. It just cools that bias down a little bit and makes it to where your tubes are going to last a lot longer. It is a master volume amp. These amps are great, man. You know, it's a 15 watt amp, 12-inch speaker. You know, a lot of people compare this to the Fender bass breaker. We've also done a video with the Fender bass breaker today. And I personally am of the thought that the Fender bass breaker maybe is a little bit better sounding amp to my ears. However, the cleans on this amp are excellent. We did have a overdrive engaged there, but let's get rid of this delay. All right, this is just naked amp. And let's just see how she sounds. We'll go through the bridge neck pickup. Here's, and what is the amp on right now? What volume are we at?
We're at 7, fat switch is engaged, master's at 3.
Okay, so the fat switch is not quite like a bright switch. It's just sort of a boost of, I would say, more mid-frequencies than anything else.
Straight up.
Okay, ready?
Off.
Definitely a mid-boost, which is cool. Okay, and so we're what, on about 7 right now? Mm-hmm. So we're getting a little bit of natural breakup from the amp. We'll go through some of the sounds here. This is a 52 custom shop Fender Telecaster. And yeah, having a lot of fun here. Middle. Bridge. As that's just the reverb on the amp, Chad. Not bad. It does sound a lot better than a standard Blues Junior, I can definitely say. I've had a few Blues Juniors over the years. They're great amps, perfect little club amp, something you can take to the gig, do your thing. If some drunk woman knocks a beer over on it, I mean, yeah, it's unfortunate, but you're not out, you know, a couple of grand for some really expensive amp. This amp with the mods, how much you have in this amp total?
$700.
About 7. So see, that's not bad. I mean, you know, guys, music gears, it can be a little expensive. Good music gear costs money. And let's face it, sometimes stupid things happen. So this is a great amp. Like as a backline amp, if you already got your pedal board and the sounds you're used to, you can totally plug into this thing and get some very usable tones, especially with the built-in mods. Now, I mentioned the cooling of the bias circuit. I mentioned the true bypass. And what's the other mod? Didn't you have something else done too?
There's no true bypass. The standby switch.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, the 3-position standby.
Other than that, I mean, Andrew's Amp Lab did the work, and they have a few other options. I mean, they can replace the tube sockets with metal sockets or ceramic sockets, I should say.
Yeah, a little bit higher quality.
Yeah, the only other thing done to this one was the input jack was replaced.
Yeah.
So a good metal switchcraft jack.
That's right, man. Yeah, that's the only issue with some of these newer Fender amps is they have really bogus plastic jacks that are oftentimes soldered directly to the dang board. So if the input jack takes a jolt or a hit and it breaks from the board, it's just going to be a real nightmare to have to get in there and resolder all that crap back. And then you're trying to solder something to a board. It's just a giant mess. By running the Switchcraft, it's a much more rugged jack, an essential upgrade for any modern Fender amp. Now the blackface reissue amps and some of the new 68 custom silverface reissue amps, I don't think they have that problem. I think they use Switchcraft jacks on those, but don't quote me on that. But a lot of these amplifiers, like the Bass Breaker, the Pro Junior, the Blues Junior, they all have that jack that's mounted to the board, and if it takes a jolt, it's going to knock it loose.
Cost saving measure. You know?
It is, but I mean, I get it. They're trying to keep the prices reasonable, and I can certainly understand the need for that, okay? That's an analog man digital delay, by the way, and I'm using a Wazacraft Boss CE2 chorus. Just fooling around, guys.
Analog man digital delay. What?
Analog delay. I'm sorry if I said digital delay. I have so many delays, I get them all mixed up. You know, the amp's got some nice sounds. So we're getting a little shimmer there from a chorus and a delay. So since I flubbed up and mentioned a digital delay, let's listen to a digital delay. This is a Boss DD2. This is a digital delay. Nice sounding guitar and amp combination. I mean, if you showed up to backline on a gig, it would be a perfect amp for that. And really, even a main amp. I mean, if you have just small gigs to play or small combo you're in, club level volumes, this is a perfect amplifier to grab and go. And one thing I will say about this is lighter than the Fender Bass Breaker. That Fender Bass Breaker is a wonderful sounding amp, but is a behemoth in terms of weight. For its size, gosh, it is so freaking heavy to carry around. This amplifier definitely is a lot lighter. I don't know how much lighter, but definitely lighter. And one thing I will say about this that I like is the cabinet design compared to the Bass Breaker is much better. This is a true open back cabinet, which is great. I believe that cabinet resonance is a big part of how an amplifier sounds and how it reacts to your playing. With my pedal board going into it, I have to say I almost prefer the Blues Junior to the Bass Breaker in terms of the cleans. Now that is one thing you got going on here is some glorious cleans. Now, to get into the Achilles heel, devil may care other end of this spectrum, I'm not a fan of the drive on the Blues Junior, and I know that with the 3 model, they've tried to smoothen out the drive, make it sound a little bit better, and the drive is foot switchable on the Blues Junior, which it's not on the Bass Breaker. So if you don't want to use the drive, you don't have to. You've still got wonderful, glorious Fender cleans. If you do want to use the drive channel, it's a simple foot switch away. So that is glorious there.
There's no drive channel.
This doesn't have a drive channel? Are you sure it doesn't have a boost?
Volume, master, that's it.
Well, maybe that's what the fat switch is. Am I wrong here? So I'm confusing it with the Classic 30 is what I am. The PV Classic 30 has that type of a arrangement.
Yeah, because you've got a foot switch for that. You can switch on the like a boost.
So I got that wrong. So okay. So we don't have a foot switch on. You know, I'm thinking of the Fender Hot Rod Deluxe. That's what I'm thinking of. The Fender Hot Rod Deluxe is the amplifier that has the foot switch. Okay, I feel like an idiot now. That's okay. We caught it on camera, so now I'll be constantly reminded of it. All right.
So I got the volume on about 11. So.
All right. Okay. Here we go. So is this cranked?
Now it's cranked, yeah.
So this is. That's cranked. It's not blisteringly bad in terms of volume. I mean, it's not what I would consider obnoxious. It's not bad.
I'm going to turn the fat off.
Okay.
All right.
Not terrible, despite my sloppy playing. Let's get back into clean, a little bit more of the clean territory. I dig it. I think it's an amplifier with some very usable tonal spectrum. You get usable volumes spectrum, which on a lot of the early Blues Juniors and Pro Juniors, it's like, all right, volume's off, loud, 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 off, loud, loud, loud. There's no usable sweep of the volume.
Now you still have to turn this master up to about like 2 1/4 to get anything. So just play. Alright. We're at 2. Like there's nothing.
I dig it. I think it's got some really cool stuff in strides. Of course, you know, you can't go wrong with the Telecaster. is like the guitar, in my opinion. Okay, call me a Telecaster whore if you want, but I love my Tellies. Very cool. Guys, thank you for watching today's video. We hope that, if you don't know about Blues Juniors, maybe this gave you a little bit of an idea of some of the mods and hopefully how they sound. We try not to get overly methodical with this. We just have fun, play the amps, let you hear them, have a little bit of fun. So guys, thank you for watching today's video. Make sure that you click that notification bell and you're getting all of our videos. We post every Monday and every Friday here. Make sure you're catching our videos, and we appreciate the support from all of you. If there's something special you want to see, let me know. We'll try to make an effort to accommodate you as best we can. We might be able to borrow the gear or whatever and try to get it in and let you guys hear it. Thank you very much for watching today's video. I'm going to make a little bit more racket. I want to hear that chorus again. That sucker sounded glorious. I just love that big spacey sound. I noticed when you engage that analog delay, it does have an audible noise. But let's hear this. See.
Yeah, you got the